Thanks for joining us for this 8 o'clock digital update on this Wednesday evening. I'm Wright Gazaway in the WTOC newsroom. We are live right now on all of our digital platforms. We are on our website, our app, as well as Amazon Fire, Roku, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. If you're on Facebook, feel free to ask a question, and I'll get back to those at the end of the digital newscast. Gina says she hates waiting. Gina, I'm sorry. We made you wait a little bit longer. I had to get my iPad logged on to get the scripts. But normally, we like to let the audience build a little bit so that you don't join us late and then you miss the beginning of the newscast. So that's why we make you wait just a little bit, but hopefully it's not too long. Thanks for waiting, though, Gina. All right, getting right into some of the stories we're following for you today. You saw there in the description, Effingham County deputies are looking for a wanted 43-year-old man. The sheriff's office, they say Joseph Wright is known to frequent Dubberly Hill in Bloomingdale, English Drive in Ellabelle, and Doodles Billiards in Rankin. Wright is wanted for felony charges of conversion of payments for real property improvements. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call the Effingham County Sheriff's Office. That phone number is 912-754-3449. That number is on our website. Once again, though, 912-754-3449. If you know where he is, just give them a call. Here's a big change that could be on the way to Statesboro. It's a move that some cities in Georgia have done. Atlanta, some other metro area counties, as well as Savannah even did it. And Statesboro could be next, and it involves marijuana possession, simple marijuana possession, that is. The proposed change to their city ordinances would give violators a hefty fine as opposed to getting arrested. If you're caught with less than an ounce, that is, you will not get arrested. Council will hold a second reading and possibly vote on the measure that would change the penalty for that amount of marijuana. If you're caught, you would face a $500 fine as well as an appearance in court, but you would not face an arrest and a permanent criminal record. Council members who support the change say they hope to save first-time offenders and give them a second chance. They also hope it frees up police to investigate larger cases.
We're trying to put a lot of teeth into it, but allow it to do what we would like it to do for our police force and our citizens.
Okay, once again, that was the marijuana ordinance in Statesboro. They will have the second reading next Tuesday to pass that change. It could go into effect almost immediately. Cases involving more than 1 ounce, once again, will still get you arrested, and you will still face criminal charges if you have more than an ounce or if police think that you are distributing that marijuana as well. Dow Kennedy will be there Tuesday, and he'll let you know how they vote on that. Several state lawmakers are looking at prices for new voting machines for Georgia. That group includes some of our local elected officials, and it's something Chatham County commissioners want approved next year. County Commission Chairman Al Scott hopes new machines are easier for you to use next time you vote, and that it also confirms your ballot was actually cast. State Senator Lester Jackson is part of a study committee. The committee is considering 5 companies and estimating it will cost about $250 million to buy new machines for the whole state. The state will cover most of the cost, however, counties will split that cost at some degree. Georgia is unique from other states because it requires every county to vote using the same machines. County leaders say it's frustrating to wait on a decision from Atlanta, but state lawmakers say it keeps things consistent.
If we were not hamstrung by state law, Chatham County would have already updated its voting equipment.
We think consistency in Georgia is important. We think there are a lot of rural counties in Georgia that cannot afford the update of machines, and we think an updated machine and consistency eliminate fraud across the board.
Both of these guys do agree that the machines should have direct communication with the Secretary of State's office to make elections more secure. Scott would also like to see machines that print out your completed ballot after you vote electronically. It's worth pointing out that a lot of state lawmakers agree with that. They want a paper backup ballot system. Lawmakers did consider purchasing that kind of voting machine last session, but the Senate and the House couldn't agree on how to replace the voting machines. They also wanted to wait until there was a new Secretary of State in office, and they wanted to wait until it was a year where there wasn't a major election like the 2018 election and then the 2020 presidential election. So they hope doing it in 2019 will give them some time to implement that new system. Jackson says that study committee will meet one more time before the new session starts in January. Then in January, they'll make the recommendation to the General Assembly about how to best replace those voting systems. Once again, seems to be bipartisan support to replace those elections machines. Obviously, after the last election, there have been increased calls from the Democratic side, but a lot of Republicans agree that the systems are old and outdated as well. Speaking of voting, Friday is the last day to request an absentee ballot or go to the polls for early voting for Georgia's runoff election. One of the biggest races is the Secretary of State's office. Speaking of the Secretary of State, Democrat John Barrow faces Republican Brad Raffensperger. Brad Raffensperger is a former state rep. John Barrow is a former United States congressman. Once again, Georgia's runoff election is December 4th. If you do plan to vote early or if you need to vote by absentee ballot, you need to do that by Friday. We'll obviously have complete coverage of that. That's the major statewide runoff election. There's one more for a public service commission as well. But that is the race a lot of people are watching. So dead heat right now, and we will have coverage of that next Tuesday, and we'll, of course, pass along a winner just as soon as we get it. Going through some of these questions, a couple of people are asking what's going on Pooler Parkway. We are not sure. I don't think we've heard of anything going on over that way, but we will certainly look into it. And if we get an update, we'll put that on our news app as well as on our social media pages. And then we'll also have an update for you tonight on the news at 11. Looks like there's some traffic, emergency cars around. So once again, we will we'll look into that and get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. As always, thanks for joining. And remember, you can always catch the latest news on all of our digital platforms as well as our news website and then our news app as well. Jamie Ertl will have a weather update tonight at 9, and then Dawn Baker will have another news update at 10, and then, of course, she will be on the news at 11 tonight. Hope to see you there. Have a great night until then.